Hi, my name's Brienne, and I'm a pre-kindergarten teacher and director of a preschool program. In addition to my time at the classroom, I'm also an author here at Teaching Strategies. Today I'm really excited to share with you a wonderful story from our Teaching Strategies children's book collection that we feature in our closed study. After I'm done sharing the story, I'll walk you through a few of the read-aloud strategies that I used. Let's get started. Wash and Dry, written by Trish Holland, illustrated by Vinay Kumar. Look at the family here. They look very upset. I wonder what's got them so upset. Let's look inside and find out. Wash and Dry. Oh no, my muddy dog just jumped on me. I'm grimy and slimy from cap to socks. Daddy says I smell like a wet dog. Pee-you. I'll add my dirty clothes to the rest of the dirty laundry. I'm glad Mommy and Daddy will help me wash and dry my clothes. I wouldn't want to have to do this job by myself. Luckily, I still had lots of clean clothes in my dresser. It smells like a bag of lemons in there. I'll be glad when those dirty clothes smell that good. I'm looking in his drawer here and I don't see a bag of lemons. I wonder what he means. I carry the stinky basket over to the washing machine. I hold my breath as I walk and I try to think about flowers. I wonder why he's thinking about flowers. What do we know about flowers? I bet they smell much better than this stinky basket of laundry. But it's not working. I'm glad we have our own washing machine at home. My aunt takes her dirty clothes to the Rub-a-Dub-Tub laundromat. Hey, listen to those three rhyming words. Rub, dub, tub. There are lots of people there, and the machines clink, clank, whistle, and whir as they wash and dry the clothes. My aunt has to use a lot of quarters to wash and dry her clothes. Have any of you ever been to a laundromat before? When I used to live in New York City, I washed my clothes at a laundromat. At our house, Mommy helps me wash my clothes. We put the really dirty clothes in a pile to be washed in the washing machine. It will twist and twirl the dirt right out of the clothes for us. We put some of the delicate clothes in a pile to wash by hand. When something's delicate, it means that it could be broken or torn easily, and we need to be gentle when we're taking care of these things. We swish and swirl the clothes in the soapy water. There are bubbles in my clothes and bubbles up my nose. Oh no, I think he's going to sneeze. Let's sneeze with him. Achoo! Before we can put the clothes in the washing machine, we have to sort them. We make a pile of the light-colored ones to wash together. If we wash Daddy's dark red shirt with my white underwear, my underwear would turn pink. Yuck! We make a pile of dark-colored clothes, too. If we wash my white socks with Mommy's dark blue pants, my socks would be baby blue. No way. We toss a load of dirty clothes in the washer, then clunk, I shut the door. Mommy lets me pour dry soap powder in the hole at the top of the washer. Then I add the liquid fabric softener, glub, glub, glub. Next comes the best part. I get to push the on button. Look, boys and girls, it's the word on, O-N, just like we saw on the light switch in our classroom. I get to push the on button and listen to the machine start to work. Whoosh! I watch the sudsy clothes slosh around inside. I'm looking at my favorite book when I hear ding. The washing machine signal tells me that the clothes are ready. They are clean, but still squishy. Daddy helps me with the next step, drying the clothes. If the sun is shining, then we hang them outside on our clothesline. I hand Daddy the clothespins. The clothes will smell like the sun and wind when they are dry. When it's cloudy, we dry our drippy duds inside the house in the clothes dryer. They flip and fumble and flutter. Listen to those three F words. Flip, fumble, flutter, and tumble in the heat. The humming machine is warm. Even our cat likes it when we use the dryer. Suddenly, I hear a buzz. The clothes are dry. but they are in one big tangle. We all help to fluff and fold the clothes. I like to fold the clothes in tidy triangles or silly circles. Mommy and Daddy fold the clothes into plain rectangles and simple squares. They don't play with the laundry. I think they're missing out on the fun. Look, we can see here where the boy has folded his shirt into one of his tidy triangles. Some of the laundry needs to be hung up on hangers, and some of it needs to be ironed. This is an iron here. It's a tool that adults use that gets really hot, and we use it to rub over wrinkled clothes to smooth them out. Daddy irons the wrinkled shirts, and Daddy hisses back at it. He doesn't like this part of laundry. Do you have any jobs that you do at home that you don't really enjoy doing, but you do them anyway because you know that they help your family? While Daddy irons, Mommy tells me that a long, long time ago, people washed clothes by pounding them on rocks in a river. I think I like our way of washing clothes better. Mommy says that people used to have to make their own soap. They would boil the ingredients in a big pot over a fire all day long. The soap from each batch would last a long time. After all that work just to make the soap, people still had to scrub the dirty clothes on a washboard in a tub. This is the washboard here. The silver part would be really bumpy, so they could rub the clothes over top to get all of the dirt out, just like the lady in the other picture did with the rock. I bet doing laundry took a long, long time. My great-great-grandmother used a washing machine with a wringer at the top. When she cranked the handle, the wringer squished most of the water out of the clothes. She'd hang her clothes on a clothesline, too. When they were dry, she used a giant ironing machine called a mangle. She'd crank that handle, and the clothes would go in all wrinkled and come out nice and smooth. I'm glad we don't have to work so hard at washing clothes. I can put on my favorite outfit and not smell like a wet dog. Oh, no! Here we go again. Oh, goodness, boys and girls, what's getting ready to happen in this picture? I'm really excited that today we have some of the soap from the story for you to use at the sand and water table. We have powdered soap and liquid soap for you to explore with water during choice time. Now I'd like to walk you through a few of the read-aloud strategies that I used in sharing this story. You'll notice that when I introduced the book, I took a moment to reflect on the title and the cover illustrations, pointing out to the children the facial expressions on the family. I also gave the children a reason to listen to the story, to find out what had gotten them so upset. It's very important when reading stories to young children that we use our voice and facial expressions to engage them and keep their interest. As teachers, we really want to bring these stories and their characters to life in the classroom. As you're reading, there's many strategies you can use to draw children's attention to different literary concepts. For instance, when I highlighted the rhyming words rub-a-dub-tub, or when I came across the word on when I got to it in the text, I knew that the children in my classroom would recognize this word from our classroom environment. It's always a good idea to read a story to yourself before sharing it with the children in your class. This allows you time to reflect on different vocabulary and concepts in the book that may be unfamiliar to the children in your classroom. For instance, in this story, they talk about some of the clothes being delicate. Well, the children in my classroom might not be familiar with that term. So it's important that I take a moment to pause and define that term for them and clarify their understanding. Reading a story ahead of time also lets you think about what social emotional behaviors or themes that you would like to discuss with the children. I really liked in this story how the dad had a job that he didn't really enjoy doing, but he did anyway because it helped the family. This allows for a great discussion with the children to ask them about a job that they have that they don't enjoy, but that they still do because it helps the family. Having discussions like these allow children to make real-life connections with what's happening in the story. I also like to use these sticky notes at times to highlight for myself as the teacher where there's a page that I would want to define a particular vocabulary word or ask the children a question. You can also use strategies like running your finger along the text or highlighting different things in the illustrations to draw children's attention to your reading. I always think it's a wonderful idea to ask the children a question at the end of the story. What do you think is going to happen next? This allows children to extend their understanding of the characters and the story beyond what's included in the book. It's also always a wonderful idea if you can provide a hands-on experience for the children as a follow-up to the read aloud. For instance, in this story, providing children the powder soap and the liquid soap that the boy used in the story allows them to make real-life connections with what they've just heard in the story. Using read-aloud strategies like these allow you to introduce all kinds of exciting stories in your classroom, even those with more complex storylines and vocabulary. I really hope that you'll find these read-aloud strategies helpful while you continue to provide meaningful learning experiences for the children in your classroom.